Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. And salutations to the sincere Akim and Aquath that may listen. My name is Brother Requai, back in here with another video. And today is a more of a character lesson video topic, so to speak. Discussing endurance. What is endurance? And is it a quality you've seen in the West today? And the reason I wanted to bring this out, because this is the whole thing in the West about, like, in Western countries, like, America, Canada, and like very developed nations, there's this trend going on that men are becoming weaker, right? There's that saying that good men create hard times, hard times create strong men, and like the cycle continues. But lately I've been thinking, here in the West, that the testosterone in men, it's in young men especially, it's actually been declining, right? And men are becoming a lot weaker and over time, and then you have this whole movement, the alphabet movement, and the people that hijack like a good percentage of the whole alphabet for themselves, right? And it's making, men are cross-dressing and they're becoming a lot weaker and it's just, it's just going downhill from here, and I've noticed this is what happens when societies get extremely comfortable and everything is kind of like handed to you, right? Because there's no hardship, there's no suffering, there's no patience. And then we live in a kingdom that is like completely saturated with all these different pleasures. Like, it's a very hedonistic society. As a matter of fact, let me get that word. I know I had the word endure here, but let me just get that word hedonistic. Okay, there we go. Okay. So of the pleasure, okay, let's get the nature of pleasure seeking. Let's actually get hedonist. Okay, so this is the word hedonist. Pleasure, delight, enjoyment, which is related to sweet, sweet, pleasant, one who regards pleasure as the chief goal in life. A hedonist is properly the follower of any ethical system in which some sort of pleasure ranks as the highest good. The Epicurean identifies his pleasure with the practice of virtue. So yeah, that completely describes the society that we live in, because there's pleasure constantly everywhere to constantly distract us from our problems, and there's no hardship, there's no, the culture doesn't promote, suffering, being patient, hardship, in order to, casting your emotions aside, right? So let's go back to that word endurance and see what that word means, because the scriptures do talk about endurance. So this is the word endure, and it reads late 14th century, to undergo or suffer, especially without breaking, to continue in existence, from the French endurer, make hard, harden, bear, tolerate, keep up, maintain, make hard, right? So this is one of the things, especially when you're in the truth, it strengthens you with your infirmities. It strengthens you, and it makes you hard because you're able to persevere, so to speak, right? You do have your challenges, but this is the point of going through these infirmities and these struggles, especially in your flesh, because it's supposed to strengthen you, to make you tougher, like mentally tough, right? Personally, like for me, one of the reasons I'm not a person that really enjoys exercise all the time, but if you really think of it, like if you're the kind of person that does a lot of exercise, you're putting your body through strenuous activity to be able to, make yourself tougher to get through that experience, because the experience is uncomfortable. But what's happening in society right now is the fact that everything is comfortable, so people don't actually face any sort of resistance. You don't get a chance to endure anything, especially the men, right? They don't get a chance to actually bear through any sort of suffering or patience to actually make them stronger, right? So this is one of the things I wanted to bring out and talk about today, because this is something that's strongly needed and is strongly missing in this culture, right? But you won't find it here. You won't find it here, of course, because everything is too pleasure seeking. So I have a couple scripts. Let's see. So the first one I've got, let's go to, actually, let me do this. So this is Isaiah 48:10, and it reads, "Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction," right? So, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is putting these infirmities under us to be able to refine us. So what happens when something gets refined? The bad habits, which are manifested as impurities, are slowly and surely being cleaned out, so the Most High can dwell in our vessel, right? All those impurities and all those scuffs and all those bad parts of the gold is being refined, right? So we can be more like, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, right? Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's jump down to the Apocrypha. Let's say it's Ecclesiastes 2 and 4. Oh, let's start at 1, actually. So this is Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach 2 and 1, and it reads, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul from temptation." So there are going to be things that are always around us that are going to tempt us, right? "Set your heart or your mind aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble," right? So, being able to, keep, have and maintain that mental strength when we're in times that are very, very difficult. And, each brother is always going to have different things that are going to A, that are going to be tempting them, and B, you're going to have different things that are going to be, you're going to have different infirmities. So whether it's like, for example, physical ailments, whether it's family or if it's your work. Like for me, it's at work for sure. Hate that place. Yeah. Let's see. Verse 3: cleave unto him, the Most High, and depart not away. So you remember, so this is also a reminder when we are going through these things, just remember to be able to like call on the Lord, and remember, like, Lord, please, how about Shai, please continue to forsake me not, and continue to give me the strength to be able to endure it, right? Constantly seeking him, right, and not cursing the Most High out. That's what we'll get to that at the end, actually. Let's see. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Verse 4: whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Right? So, continue to have a positive or a balanced mindset about what is brought onto us, right? Because there's always something we can learn, especially in a situation that is not so favorable. And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. So this is the key point, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So it's constantly through our adversities that is constantly like continuously strengthening us and making us hard, like you saw in the etymology, right? Now here's one that's comforting, actually. Verse 6: believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. So remember to always, be able to trust the Lord, that he's going to be able to help us through these things, right? So he's the one that breaks down and then he builds back up, right? So let's see. So the last script I've got is Job, the 2nd chapter, let's see, Job 2 and 2. Actually, let's start at 3, and then we'll go down to verse 10. Okay, so this is Job 2 and 3, and it reads, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job? There is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High Yahweh, and escheweth evil. And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. Right? So what's going on here? Satan wants to is talking to the Most High Yahweh. They're trying to like make a bet to see if would continuously hold his integrity. Job is an example of somebody who was an upright man, right? And he had character. And verse 4: and Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath, he will give for his life. Verse 5: but put thy hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. So this is what Satan's saying, that what Job's going to do when he's under these infirmities. Verse 6: and the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, Slakia, but save his life. And so the Lord is saying, okay, you can do X, Y, and Z, these things to Job, but save his life, right? This scripture actually cuts this idea that Satan is this powerful being that is fighting in the heavens against the Most High, that the Christians like to say. That's so ridiculous. Like, Satan is being controlled by the Most High, right? Anyways, not to get too off topic. So verse 7, when Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the soles of his foot onto his crown. And verse 8, and he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Verse 9, then then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse the Most High and die. So you can imagine what's going on here. The Lord has given permission to Satan to do these things to Job, right? So as Job is going through these different infirmities, so he's got boils on his skin, he feels very, very irritated, and he feels very uncomfortable, right? What's going on? And his wife is seeing him going through all these different, pains and on his body, and you can imagine what's going through Job's mind at this point, right? And his wife is saying, curse the Most High and die, because he's the one that sanctioned it at the end of the day, right? Verse 10, this is where it's key. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Most High, and shall not we receive evil? And in all this did not Job sin with his lips? So Job was going through all of these things, and he had to check his wife, because he's telling her, if we receive good, we would also receive evil, which explains the Lord's nature, which is balance. But to further drive the point home, even though he did receive evil, he did not sin. He did not curse the Most High out. He continued to remain steadfast and hold on to his character and his integrity, right? So that I hope that solidifies the point. I think there's a lot more scriptures on this particular topic, and speaking in endurance. I know there is there is endure hardness as a good soldier. Hardness. Let's see, I think it's in the New Testament. Okay, this is just the last scripture, just to end it all off. This is 2 Timothy 2:3, and it reads, thou endure hardness as a good soldier as of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, right? That no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him whoever hath chosen him to be a soldier, right? So it's so always remembering to endure hardness, because you want to be able to have a lot of mental strength, especially if what's to come, right? And constantly being able to endure through these situations, and always remaining your integrity, because at the same time it's preparing your mind and enabling and giving you that mental strength, and at the same time it's also building character, because let's face it, in the world today, these are traits that are not encouraged. The culture that we live in, this polluted culture, this Babylon culture, that it strongly promotes a lot of hedonistic lifestyles, right? But anyways, I hope that drives the point home. And until next time, I'd just like to say, Kal Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Shalom until next time.